Welcome back to Yoshi Entertainment, everybody. So I heard about this situation that happened not too long ago, just a couple of days ago, and I wanted to wait before I put up a video because I wanted to gather some more information, gather my thoughts before I said anything about it. But just recently, as you know, of course, Beyonce put out an album, her Renaissance album, and there's a song on the album called Church Girl. And I didn't I did try to look up the song, but I really didn't want to listen to it, to be honest. So I did look up the lyrics to see, what the uproar about it was. And I can kind of understand why some people felt the way that they did about it. Now, on this song, she sampled music from a very well known, very popular, very prestigious gospel singer and artist known as Twinkie Clark from the Clark Sisters. Now, if you know anything about gospel, anything about classic gospel, all the classic gospel artists and singers, then you know who Twinkie Clark is from the Clark Sisters. All of the Clark Sisters have put out a lot of music. They put out a lot of really good music. Okay, they are a landmark in the gospel industry. So if you know anything about gospel music, then you know how big of a deal something like that is. Now, it was said that she did send a message to Beyonce thanking her for using the sample on her song. And I know a lot of people are looking at this situation and they're saying, okay, well, this is just one artist doing business with another artist, or this is just one artist sampling music from another artist. Like, they can do that. Like, she's composed a lot of stuff, arranged a lot of stuff. Why can't she share that with other artists? I know a lot of people are, they're not seeing the problem with that. On the other hand, a very well-known bishop of the Church of God in Christ named Bishop Wooden, he put out a whole message, and in his message, he was saying that he completely and wholly disagreed with what she did. And he said some other things that I'm not going to say on this channel. If you want to hear what he said, there's a video, so you can go watch the video and you can come back. But I'm not going to repeat everything he said. He's a very bold man. I'll put it that way. Very brave and very, very bold. And he's been like that. The word along the way is that he's been like that all the time. Anytime something like this happens, he always is one of the first people to very boldly stand up and say something. And I admire that. I know a lot of people didn't agree with what he said, but I admire it because it takes a lot of, well, let me just be honest, it takes a backbone to say anything to anybody in this day and time, because a lot of people, they do what they want, they say what they want, they don't think about accountability or right from wrong, and they don't want to hear anything coming from anybody who's trying to say anything about it. So I admire him for standing up and speaking out against things that he knows isn't okay, whereas others would not. Now, I said all that to say this. I do agree, I will have to say, I do agree with what Bishop Wooten said. Now, before you get mad and say whatever and go all in the comments and go off, just hear me out. Now, I know everybody, like I said before, is like, oh, well, she's an artist, Beyonce is an artist. If they want to share music or sample each other's music, there's like, what's the problem with that? But as he stated in his sermon, or in his, what he said in that video, we have to understand this. So Twinkie Clark is a gospel artist. Beyonce is a secular artist, okay? First of all, how many people from the secular music industry do you see out here sampling music from gospel artists? There was one incident that came up that I can remember off the top of my head, where there was an artist, don't know her name. She sampled music from one of John P. Key's songs that he had written and I think arranged. But other than that, you don't see these secular artists sampling music from the gospel industry. You don't see them getting involved with them because, let's be honest, secular and gospel, they don't mix. And either one is going to go over to the other or vice versa if they do try to. But that aside, I said I agree with what he said because Twinkie Clark is a gospel artist and Beyonce is a secular artist. Well, first of all, like I said, I know people are going to get mad, but I mean this in all respect. I have nothing against Beyonce. I really have nothing against her. I'm not jealous of her. I'm not a hater. Although we have to let the truth be the truth. Beyonce has put out some very blasphemous lyrics in her songs in the past. Even in the church girl song, I don't like the song. I'll put it that way. If you like the song, congratulations. But I don't like the song. The lyrics, what they say, the implications, it's just not right. And here's I'm gonna get on a soapbox for a moment. People love to talk about, oh, well, I don't go to church because all the sinful things that I do, like they're doing in the church. Like I hear so many people complain, submit those complaints all over the place. But then they're praising this song for basically saying, well, from what I can ascertain from the song, a church girl who goes out to the club, who twerks, who cusses, who does all this kind of stuff. And you can't label yourself a church girl or a real true Christian if you do all of that stuff. What's the point of complaining about, well, why should I be saved? Why should I go to church? Why should I give my life to God? If the same thing that I'm doing out here in the world, they're doing in the church, but then praise these song lyrics, which is basically the exact same thing that a lot of people have been complaining about. I just feel like it's a bit hypocritical. Actually, not a bit hypocritical. It's a lot hypocritical. Soapbox number 2 that I wanted to get on. Secular artists and their managers, they do not care about church. They don't care about the Bible. They don't care about Christ. Okay. And they don't have any respect for any of those. Like people, I think if I'm not mistaken, people have said that Beyoncé said she's a Christian, which again, if you are a true Christian, there are certain things that you don't do and you don't say. And it's hard for me to believe that she's a Christian and that she loves the Lord if she has put out, like I said, these blasphemous songs with these blasphemous lyrics. And I'm going to repeat, I have nothing against Beyoncé. I don't hate her. I have nothing against her. It's just you can't tell me that you love God, that you love the Bible, that that you're a Christian and you do and you say these things. That's hypocritical and untruthful. So I don't think that gospel artists should be involving themselves with most, if not all, of the secular artists, because again, like when you become a Christian, especially if you're a gospel artist, like a lot of people have tried to push this narrative that you don't have to be a Christian, or you don't have to be saved, or you don't have to have your life all together if you're going to be a Christian artist. That is absolutely butt backwards and wrong. As a Christian artist, you are supposed to be leading people into worship and being an example. By default, you're going to be an example. Like I have a saying, if you're like, whenever you put yourself out there, whenever you do what you do, whenever you're famous, whenever you do anything, you are going to be an example. Either you're going to be a good example or by default, you're going to be a bad example. And as an artist, a gospel artist, you have to be a good example. Like you can't label yourself a gospel artist and have a secular lifestyle, So I guess what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, it boils down to less of I want someone to sample my song because of who they are in their industry and because of the money that can be made off of. And it's more of an integrity issue. Like, because God is the head of my life, I respect God, I love the Bible, I'm a Christian. I'm not going to do business with somebody who quite blatantly has shown us that they don't love God, that they are not a Christian, that they don't respect God, that they don't respect the Bible. And if you don't believe me that she said blasphemous lyrics, like I have seen countless people point out the one song that she put out there. I don't even want to repeat what she said. I don't even want to repeat a repeat of what she said, but to make it a little cleaner, that she would put Bible scriptures or the text, the biblical text in her nether regions during that time of the month. Like I just, first of all, that's appalling. It's appalling and it's disgusting. And after that, I don't understand how anybody, unless they just want to be willfully ignorant, could say that she respects God or that she respects the Bible. She doesn't. So as a gospel artist, I don't think they should do anything with her, including sampling music. And I know it would have been a big hoopla, I guess, if she would have been like, I need you to take my sample off that song because you're a secular artist. You don't respect God. You don't respect the Bible. I don't want my name attached to your name. And of course, people would have been like, oh, how ungrateful of you. But I feel like that would have been the right thing to do. With all due respect. Like I said, I'm not throwing shade at her. I'm not trying to disrespect her. It's just, if this is the way she's going to go, if this is her choice, it's her choice. At the same time, it's everybody else's choice to stand for what they stand for. And that's why I do agree with what the bishop said. Now, you can take it or leave it. I don't care. Like I said, my aim was not to offend anybody by saying that. I'm just putting out what I believe, what I know, and that's the end of the story. If you didn't like it, just keep scrolling. It's fine. You'll be fine. But anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comments below.